Prepare yourself for the terror. The prison of madness, where few enter and none return.
Welcome to Unsung Horrors. With Lance. And Erica.
Leave all your sanity behind. It can't help you now.
Welcome to another episode of Unsung Horrors, the podcast where we discuss underseen horror films, specifically those which have fewer than 1,000 views on Letterboxd. I'm Erica.
I'm Lance.
And we are very happy to have a returning guest with us this episode because we're going to be talking about a TV movie. And so the perfect person to have here, of course, is Miss Amanda Reyes. Welcome back.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here and talking about one of my favorite subjects, which is the ABC Wide World of Mystery.
Yeah, it's going to be great. Before we get into the movie, though, let's catch up. What have you been working on recently? I know there's been a big announcement with a Vinegar Syndrome sublabel. So tell us everything that's going on with you.
Okay, well, I'll start with that because I can't actually remember what has been announced and what hasn't. So it's probably just easier if I talk about very vaguely what I'm doing right now with Vinegar Syndrome. So last year, Brandon Upson of Vinegar Syndrome, this amazing guy, I think he's their main scanner and restoration guy. And he started a sublabel called Iconoscope, which is dedicated to all things television. And he really means that. He means TV series, TV specials, maybe TV movies. And he's already released two things, which is a TV series called The Veil with Boris Karloff, as well as a re-release of the TV movie Don't Be Afraid of the Dark, which is one of my favorite movies by John Newland. And I wrote the essay for that, and they ported over my original commentary from Warner Archives. It looks beautiful. The Veil was really fun because he actually dug out an episode of a lost TV show called Slits Playhouse. I shouldn't say this series is lost, but a lot of the episodes are. And it was called House of Death with Boris Karloff. And it was this really neat sort of, I want to say horror adjacent, maybe even slasher adjacent story about this woman who comes to this house. She's from England and lots of weird stuff starts happening while she's there. It's like 25 minutes long. It's so much fun. And so he asked me sort of towards the end of the year, as I was helping him with some of this stuff, if I would come on as like a freelance producer for him. And this has been like my dream for as long as I can remember, to have a hand in helping kind of shape the extras on these films. So we've been working pretty intensely the last few months. I don't know how much information I can give because we haven't announced anything yet. And that's because there was a lot of schedule switching with the titles that we originally had planned. And so we've moved some stuff around, and hopefully in the near future, we'll have an announcement for at least one thing. I think more than that. It's been a real joy, and it's been a learning curve, and it's been exhausting and exhilarating, and it's been like living my dream. It's exactly what I want to do, and I've actually had a chance to talk to some people that I've admired for some time, and some people that are new to me that have, I didn't really realize how much I liked their product until I started talking to them. And I was like, oh, I've seen this and I've seen this. And so I'm doing a lot of that. And I'm still also doing my regular commentary stuff. And I think the thing, I don't know when this is going to air, but I guess the thing that's coming out next would be the Jimmy Sangster box set through Severin. Yeah. And I was asked to sit down and talk about Joan Collins's horror film work, TV and otherwise. I mostly came on for the TV, and Kayla Janice sort of did the theatricals, but I did a little bit of that too to help kind of like not just have one person talking. And that was so much fun. I had no idea that Joan Collins made so much horror. And she seemed to enjoy doing it, the stuff at least in England. She was really positive about it. She did not like Empire of the Ants. That's a spoiler, but yeah, it was a very difficult shoot. And I will tell you, I met one of the actresses that starred in that, Pamela Susan Shoop, and she told me horror stories years ago about it. And so I think overall it was just like not a great memory for her. But everything else she seemed really fond of, and she's terrific in everything. And so that was really fun. I tried to make my hair really big for the interview, but it kind of fell down. And I'm really disappointed about it. But otherwise, and I'm just trying to think if I've done anything else I know I have. I just don't. Just look up Amanda Reyes Blu-ray or commentary or film, and you'll probably, if you're interested, it's mostly TV stuff. I do other things too. I guess that's the where I can end it because I can't think of anything.
That's fine. No, was there something recently with Dan Curtis?
Oh yeah, I did the so speaking of Werewolf Mystery, Kino Lorber released like kind of 3 sets of ABC Werewolf Mystery titles, and most of them are like the ones you were talking about, like the Jekyll and Hyde, and like Jack Palance's Dracula. Those are like the classic monsters. But they did release one set of like kind of noirish Werewolf mystery entries that were produced by Dan Curtis, including Shadow of Fear, Nightmare at 43 Hillcrest, Come and Die With Me, and The Invasion of Carol Enders. And I did commentary for Shadow of Fear, and then with my friend Heidi Honeycutt, we did Nightmare at 43 Hillcrest. We did that one together because Heidi wrote that book, I Spit on Your Celluloid, which is about female filmmakers. And it was directed by a woman named Leela Swift. And I don't know if we'll talk about it when we get into this episode, but Werewolf Mysteries was actually kind of an historic form of programming because they had for a time a female producer, female director, almost the entire crew at one point was all women, and with a one male producer. And at the time, nobody was hiring women in those kinds of positions, but because they were late night movies, and I think they didn't think people cared that much about them, you'll find that women get into these positions when, like on soap operas or late night programming, because they assume nobody cares who's behind the camera.
Yeah.
If it's more prestigious, then it's harder for a woman, or was. And so this was a spot for women to actually start directing like nearly feature length films shot on video, very low budget, but they're very good. And so Nightmare 43 Hillcrest is a really good starting point. But there is also a release of the Kino Lorber did of the classic Ghosts, which were 5 movies, 4 of which were directed by women, 2 by Leela Swift, 2 by Gloria Monty, and 1 by a guy whose name I'm forgetting, but he was one of the Dark Shadows directors, like Leela Swift. They're very low budget. They're very much they don't look anything as expansive as Werewolf of Woodstock, but and I know that's saying something, right? They're very stagey, but they're amazing, and it was really the only venue for women, and they were melodramas and they were creepy and they're really excellent. And so the Werewolf Mystery for me has been like, and we can talk about it later. I feel like I'm throwing all this information, but
no, you're fine.
You know, they made like 64 original made for TV movies, and over half of them are considered lost. And it's been hard for me to find the ones that I have, except for these great Kino Lorber releases. And so it's like, these are like really important historic documents to me because they're covering a piece of filmmaking, like with these women, and just even what people were doing with like Werewolf of Woodstock, like with the Dick Clark telefilm, whatever he called it at the end, and telemovie production. And they're important, and they need to be found, the ones that haven't been found, and the ones that we do know exist. I think they really need to be restored. And Kino Lorber's really taken up the mantle for that. Yeah. And maybe at Iconoscope, we could do something like that as well. But so I'm really excited to be talking about this particular film because I think it's a pretty good gateway into the Werewolf Mystery. It's a lot different, and I can talk about that, but it's also very similar in some ways too. And also it's a bitchin' little film.
Yeah. So I did want to just highlight a couple other things that you've contributed to recently. So Imprint has gotten in the TV movie game. So there's the TV movie of the week box set that they have and you're involved with. And then I think just the big title that came from that I saw get announced with you on it was Salem's Lot.
Oh, that's
huge.
Right. Oops, yeah. So Bill Ackerman and I did the commentary for that for the original miniseries. There's like a truncated, I guess, theatrical cut that Chris Alexander of Delirium magazine did the commentary for, and Alexander Heller Nicholas kind of helped curate that with Arrow, and it's a really beautiful, expansive release with like anything you want to know about Salem's Lot, I think is on there. Yeah. And it was such a treat to do that because for years and years and years, I thought Paul Michael Glaser was Starsky and Hutch was like the love of my life, but it turned out it was David Soul. And so it was really great to go and kind of watch all the David Soul TV movies and read a lot about him and learn about him, and Lance Kerwin, of course, as well. Like it was such a treat to work on that film. And I was really excited to be asked to do that. And I think we say it on the disc, but I'll just say it here. I think Lee Gambin would have gotten it if he was still with us. Yeah. So we tried to do it in the spirit of Lee's work. And Lee is just such a champion of all these films. And we are too, but I think we tried to go in and try to approach it at least partially the way Lee would have. Yeah. And I hope that people pick that up when they listen.
That's amazing. So sort of speaking of supernatural creatures, let's get into Werewolf of Woodstock.
Yay!
So Werewolf of Woodstock originally aired on January 24th, 1975 on ABC. As of this recording, it's available to watch on good old Akru and has 168 views on Letterboxd.
That's it.
Oh.
That's it. That's all.
Come on, people.
I've noticed a lot of our listeners have not watched it yet, so hopefully they do that before listening.
Oh yeah,
but
we have to spoil some of it, don't we?
we do. We do. But honestly, like, even if we do spoil it, it's still worth watching because us describing a werewolf driving a Dunebuggy, just, you have to see it for yourself. You really just do. So, a quick summary of the film. At the site of the 1969 rock concert at Woodstock, an old man named Bert curses the hippies who came to his town. He goes out during a storm to tear down what's left of the stage at the concert site, only to be electrocuted, which causes him to turn into a werewolf. And despite everything we know about werewolves from previous movies, we are later clued into just how this transformation happened, because in laboratory tests, rats grew more fur when exposed to electricity. Now, during the day, Bert lays in bed wrapped in bandages to recover from the accident. But by night, and then eventually during the day, he is on the prowl. And not just for dirty hippies, but for anybody who gets in his way. Cops, ACAB, doctors, and dogs are all at risk of Bert's wrath. So I want to start by talking about production first. So Amanda already kind of touched on a little bit, but this was produced by Dick Clark as part of the Wide World of Mystery series, which was a 90-minute late-night mystery and suspense anthology series, which ran on ABC between 1973 and 1978. I do want to let Amanda talk about that for just a bit, but real quick, just mentioning another one of the producers was one of the co-writers, Bill Lee. His son actually made a YouTube video about the film, which Amanda shared with both Lance and I. And I'm going to link that in show notes because it's a quick 8-minute video. We'll talk about some of the stuff that the son brought up in the video, but it's also kind of nice to see like the son of one of the writers and producers talking about something his dad made. But yeah, so it's worth watching. We'll put that in show notes. But Amanda, tell us about the Worldwide Mystery series.
Okay, so this is like my favorite subject, so I'll try not to talk about it for 6 hours.
Okay.
So I will say it was sort of came about because NBC and CBS had late night talk shows. So they had the CBS Late Show, that might have been movie oriented, and then the Johnny Carson Show. And so ABC was like, what can we do to sort of counteract that and bring people into us? So they created Wide World of Entertainment, which they featured what they call checkerboard programming, I think because they had a variety of stuff coming on. So they had like new episodes of the Dick Cavett Show. Jack Parr came on and did the talk show stuff. And then they ended up producing a series of original movies as well as airing TV movies. And I think some TV series in these late night time slots. So it started off kind of slow. So these numbers, it's hard to explain numbers when, if you didn't grow up in the 70s and know that there were only 3 networks and millions of people watched it. So the numbers here might look good for network TV today, but they were pretty small for network TV in the 70s. So, but they grew every year. So from that 73 to 76 timeframe, they started with 2.1 million viewers. And the second season was 3 million, and then almost 4 million by the third season. So they were slowly picking up steam before they stopped producing these films. So the mysteries themselves, or the ABC Wide World mysteries, were very low budget. I think some of them were, I don't even have a number in my head, but they were very low budget, and some of them were shot in as low as I think 4 or 5 days. And they were all shot on video. Unlike Werewolf of Woodstock, they're generally just shot on a set. Even the exteriors are sets. There's one called Murder in the First Person Singular, I believe, with William Wyndham, which has a lot of exterior shots, and it looks a lot different than the other ones. And then there's some that are very claustrophobic. There's one called Prowler in the Heart with Colleen Dewhurst and Martin Sheen that I can't even recommend enough. It's like a powerhouse masterclass of acting. And it's really about this older famous writer who hooks up with this young kind of grifter, and they quote unquote fall in love. And it's sort of a cat and mouse as to what's going on and who knows what. And I feel like Lorraine Gary from Jaws might have a small part in it as well.
Okay.
But so they broke these up into subheadings. I don't know where Werewolf of Woodstock fell in, but like for Dan Curtis, they had like the Mystery Theater and the Classic Monsters, and then there were the Classic Ghosts, which were produced by Jacqueline Babin that I mentioned, that were mostly directed by women. And they even had one, and I can't remember the name of it, but they actually used like the Writers Guild of America or something like that, or the one Mystery Writers Guild came in and they oversaw the scripts. And so they would film like 5 episodes of the show, and then another producer would come in and they would shoot so many. And as I mentioned, there were about 64 of them produced, and I would say, according to the Library of Congress, I think they said 29 were lost. But since that article's been written, there's been a handful of them that have reappeared, and I've been just collecting them where and when I can. And they were really interesting. Like they had very evocative titles. Like there's one called Sorority Kill that I looked for like 2 decades. And then somebody just put it up on YouTube in chapters one night. And people contacted me. They were like, have you been on YouTube? Because Sorority Kill's online. And it's a very bad upload of like a VHS copy of it that where it reran somewhere apparently, and but it's the only way you can watch it. And it's a really interesting home invasion kind of thing where like a sorority house, these guys come in and hold everybody hostage in it. And it's got Larry Wilcox from Chips, Anthony Geary from General Hospital, and I know there's other famous people in there. And those are just like 3 or 4 of them. There's some really weird ones that are still missing that I know exist. There's a 16 millimeter print of one called The Norming of Jack 243. And that one's probably really important. A, it was directed by Gloria Monty. B, it features Christopher Reeve in one of his first roles. And it has played at a Dark Shadows convention because I think David Selby starred in it. But I don't know who has the print. I just know it exists, and it's not considered lost by the Library of Congress. So these kind of came and went. There's one called A Beautiful Killing with, I think, Christopher George and Linda Day George.
Hey.
The Satan Murders. They all have these great titles.
Yeah.
There's one, something at the Blue Note. Was it Violence at the Blue Note? I can't remember. It's got this really neat title. And they all have like at least 1 or 2 famous people. So they kind of just aired. And the issue was because they were shot on video, ABC often wiped the tape and because to use for other stuff. But it's my understanding that ABC doesn't have the rights to these films. And they actually were like Dan Curtis has the rights to all of his. So I think that the producers retain the rights. And so I'm hoping that some of the producers, there's copies somewhere. You know what I mean, of these films.
Yeah.
So we keep looking and we keep hoping, but that's just generally what it was. It was just this kind of counter programming to what was going on the other networks. It did okay. And over the years, the people who were able to watch them have sort of kind of kept the flame alive about these films. I saw this really weird movie once and I'd like to see it again. And this guy named Dwayne Morris actually went and created a list of, I think the list you were looking at of like the entire schedule. Compared to the original programs.
Yeah. So if folks are looking up a list of these on IMDb, so I think the list that I saw was just comprehensive, where it wasn't just original program created for the series, but also movies that had already been made being reshown here, like part of the Thriller series. And there was like a couple others like that, Home for the Holidays, Christmas.
I saw some with like A Cold Night's Death.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it seems to be like, if you're looking for like the comprehensive list, that's there. Letterboxd probably has a list. So there's original programming for it that was written and directed, but then there's also like, oh, let's just grab this movie and put it in that time slot for that week. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it is. If you go on the Library of Congress, you can get a list of the lost titles. They don't have all 64 on there. I did want to mention they also had really interesting anomalies, like something I just did a commentary for last year is a movie called The Heat Wave Lasted 4 Days. And that was made in Canada as part of, I can't remember what they called it, Filmglish. So what it was it was shot in Montreal and it was meant to be shown in classrooms to teach people the English language. But it's like it's kind of gritty neo-noir with a very morally ambiguous lead played by Gordon Pinsent, who is this news reporter who gets involved like in just with this drug dealer, and things just go crazy and he can't get out of the situation he's in. It's got a kind of a bleak ending. They showed it in classrooms to teach people English. And I was like, okay. But it aired once in Canada, I think, and it aired once on the ABC Why World of Mystery. So there's like anomalies like that on the list too, like these really weird films. And so Canadian International Pictures remastered it and released it. And it's it's totally different than what you'd see here. It's shot on film. I mean, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
But it's spectacular. But it's part of like this whole weird mystery surrounding the Wide World of Mystery series, so the list you're looking at is pretty neat because I think it's important because I think The Night Stalker probably reran plenty because it was so popular, but maybe Home for the Holidays, that the only other way you could see it if you didn't catch it when it originally aired is in this time slot, so it also kind of helped keep some of those films going too.
Yeah. So, I mean, you mentioned like there was a lot of women involved with this series, but Werewolf of Woodstock specifically seemed to be very male-centric, director, production, all of that. So director John Moffat, from what I saw on, just as, looking on Letterboxd, you're only going to see films, obviously, but mostly comedy specials in the 1990s through the early 2000s. I did see a few films like Love at Stake from 1987, which was a horror comedy spoof of the Salem witch trials. I know I would have hated it, so I didn't watch it.
But funny.
Yeah, I know. But I didn't really take the time to watch anything else from him specifically, just because I wanted to focus more on like some of the other people involved with it, namely the cast in here.
All that stand-up stuff with Bill Maher and Cheech and Chong roasted and stuff. It's interesting.
I'm not sure if that's the same John Moffat. Like, I mean, I don't know. I didn't do a deep dive into it, but I was like, it seems so weird he would make something in 1975 and then all the way into 2010. It just felt like that's a really long career. So he would have been very young when he did Werewolf of Woodstock. So I'm curious if there's two John, because I don't know where the list comes from. I didn't use IMDb. I looked at this other list and it had the same title as you see.
Yeah.
It's possible. Yeah. It's absolutely possible. But I'm not surprised because I feel like a lot of the directors were people that didn't normally direct like movies. Yeah. And Dick Clark, of course, did game shows and variety shows. And I wouldn't be surprised if he tapped into somebody that would do comedy specials and things like that.
Yeah, there was some set from the 70s with like Richard Pryor that are tied to Moffat. Yeah. So maybe it segued to this long-standing. Oh, yeah. It was strange to pull up his credits and see that. And I was like, this could be one of those situations where IMDb are just pulling two names together and separating. But
I tried, Letterboxd, IMDb, plus like double check the credits on the film. And I mean, it could very well be that there's two different ones, but I do see the line between Richard Pryor in the 70s and then future, like going into the other stuff. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, as far as like a film career, I didn't really see much on there worth talking about. Getting back to the production of it, one of the things that the son of Bill Lee, he mentioned that the film was originally intended to be a comedy, which I think is really interesting. And I think when I rewatched it, I watched the video that you sent us first, and I was like, okay, I'm going to watch it from that perspective now. And granted, the first time I watched it, I loved it and I was very entertained by it, but I wasn't treating it like it was a comedy. And doing so this time around, I think for anybody who watched it and this didn't land for them, I don't know who you are, but maybe that, like, looking at it through that lens might help them a little bit. But I think that helps to add, like, or not add to, but I think it helps take away some of the confusion that people might have about this movie as being like, what is this? This is so odd. And there are certain points in the film where you can almost picture like a laugh track being added in.
That would have been great. Oh,
I know.
Have you guys heard of, I think it's called The Invisible Woman with Bob Denver. It was a TV movie that aired, I don't remember if it was the 70s or 80s. And I haven't seen it in years, but it's shot on video and they had a laugh track. And I remember watching, and so does my husband, watching it as kids and being like, this is very weird, because it wasn't funny, but it was supposed to be. Yeah. Maybe John Moffat directed it and we just don't know.
Maybe.
But it had this like really weird laugh track just inserted in, and I remember feeling really odd. And I think it would fit really well here too.
Yeah.
Yeah. When like Lieutenant Martoni's like, want some chili? Want some chili? There's scenes. Him and the Dr. Marlowe character, I feel like, are humorous in unintentional ways, maybe.
But not Cora. So. Cora was the heart.
Cora was, God bless her. She's
Cora
she's
for
a
life.
Sweetheart. Yeah. Who was it? Anne, who played her? Anne.
Oh, I don't know.
I have her on here. She's one of my favorites. I mean, Bert.
Anne Doran?
Anne Doran, yeah.
Yeah.
Bert's one of my favorite too. I wish there were more scenes of him just
That's when
pissed off and upset.
That's when the laugh track would really kick in.
Yeah.
When he's like throwing stuff off the stage.
Yeah. He's like, fucking hit. Well, he doesn't say fucking. Damn hippies.
Miserable freaks.
Yeah, he was really into that. And I love that, like, he was complaining about the mess they left and he's just piling stuff onto the earth.
Yeah.
I hear there's just more trash for you.
You're not helping, sir. You're not helping. So one other crew member I did want to mention real quick before we get into the cast is Joe Blasco, who did the makeup for this film. I'm assuming that just means he created the fantastic mask that this movie has.
And maybe the werewolf slippers.
Perhaps, yes, the slippers too. Now, I think that maybe he took a note from the werewolf mask in Horror of the Wolf, which we covered as Japanese werewolf movie that we covered last year, or the year before.
Yeah, maybe 2 years ago.
Fantastic mask that it
looks like a fox.
I mean, you got to see it to believe it. But Joe Blasco, he's got credits on a couple of Cronenberg films, including Shivers and Rabid. There's a movie called Whispers from 1990, and I wrote this one down specifically for you, Lance, because he did the dead twin design.
I love that movie. Is that the one it's by the guy who did Douglas Jackson. He did The Heat Wave Lasted 4 Days.
Yeah.
Same filmmaker. And it's got like Jean Leclerc, I think, plays the twins.
Okay.
And that's a really neat movie. I think it's got Veronica Cartwright or one of the Cartwright. I can't remember, or Victoria Tennant. And
Victoria Tennant, Chris Sarandon's.
Yeah, it's very good. It's very good.
Douglas Jackson directed.
Yeah,
there you go. Junesploitation's coming up, Lance.
It has under 1,000 views too.
Oh, there you go. A couple other credits from Joe Blasco: Ruby from 1977, Ilsa, She-Wolf of the SS, and he also worked on the Addams Family TV series.
Oh, he just briefly. He also did a TV series called Dark Room, which was an anthology show that ran. It only has like 6 or 7 episodes, and he did the makeup for that. And I was reading about him because of that, and I think he actually created a special kind of makeup that looks better on film than other kinds of makeup. And he became like this renowned like cosmetic guy, like around the late 70s, early 80s, I think. He has a really interesting history.
Yeah. He's got lots of credits on there. Is Darkroom about like photography?
Well, it's actually the host of the show is James Coburn. Oh. And he's in a dark room. And he's showing you the picture usually of what they're going to talk about. And so you see this image, and then he gives you, so unlike the Night Gallery where they gave Rod Serling a painting and and he had no idea exactly what the story was and he would just write something kind of vague. These were always specific to the episode. And he was great. He looked like he was having a blast, and he wanted to actually direct episodes, but it only lasted for a couple months. So he was hoping to direct some, I don't know if it was just his segments or actually direct episodes, but there's one called The Boogeyman Will Get You, which I watched the night it originally aired, and it's slasher adjacent. It's a monster movie episode, but it feels like you're watching kind of a slasher film, and Helen Hunt's in it.
Oh, okay.
And it's excellent. But anyway, so I know he did the makeup and stuff for that. And I was just reading about him because of it. And just kind of a fascinating career. He had a school too, an art school or makeup school.
Nice. Lance loves dark rooms, so
I do. I'm a big fan of any scenes of dark rooms. Or
I don't know how accurate it is to the dark room experience, but like he's just sitting there with like the photo.
The less accurate, the better.
And then he just leads into the story very ominously, and then he comes out and he's just like, and then this happened, and he should have done that, and it just looks like James Coburn's just loving it. I think he was frustrated because it was up against Dallas. And it was really climbing a wall that it just couldn't climb, and he knew that in interviews. But he always looks like he's having a blast.
Yeah, he does.
That's one of the things about him.
Yeah. All right, let's get into some folks in the cast. There's quite a few people to talk about here. Let's start with, we've already mentioned her. So Ann Doran, she plays the wife in this. I think she's most well known to film fans as the mom in Rebel Without a Cause.
Oh, wow. Yeah, see, I didn't look up a lot of the actors. I just did like the behind the scenes.
Oh, yeah, that's fine.
So I'm learning all this with you. This is great.
But like, yeah, I mean, she's got that very like classic Hollywood look to her as a younger one, but as a younger actress. But, you know, something we talked about the last time Amanda was on is one of the great things about TV movies is that it's giving these older actors another chance to get work again. And so we're seeing a lot of that here, not so much with the main character, the star Michael Parks, but a lot of other older actors in here. So Harold J. Stone, the chili cooking lieutenant who we love.
He's so great.
He was in Spartacus from 1960, X, The Man with X-Ray Eyes from 1963. He was in, this is one of the films that I watched for this. He was in The Legend of Valentino from 1975, which was a TV movie produced by Aaron Spelling and starring one of the sexiest men to ever walk the planet, and therefore very fitting to play Valentino. That's obviously Franco Nero.
Obviously, yes.
I think you had watched something for the show or for this episode, Lance, with, I think, is it Tej Andrews? Do we know?
I don't know how to say that.
Tige?
Tig? I have no idea.
Maybe they meant to do Tiger. Well, I'm going to say Tej. Maybe it's Tig, but he plays Bert, the werewolf, and he was mostly in television. Mod Squad, Chips, Gunsmoke, Kojak. But Lance, I saw you watched a movie with him in it.
I watched a few. I've leaned into the TV movies because of this episode. Skyway to Death in 1974.
Oh, that's a fun one.
It's so good.
That's the one with Ross Martin, right? And Stephanie Powers, I think, is in it.
Yeah. Directed by Gordon Hessler.
And I love Gordon Hessler. I got to hang out with him one day, and he made me a Cosmopolitan.
Oh,
and he talked about he kissed me down in the park, and I remember nothing about what he said about it. But he did Scream Pretty Piggy as well. But Skyway to Death is a lot of fun. I don't even remember the actor in that, but I remember Ross Martin.
Yeah, well, it's Tej Andrews. He plays the boss. He's kind of the star of the whole thing.
That's funny, and I don't remember. I need to watch that.
Yeah, I mean, that was an old ABC movie of the week anthology series. I watched Flashing Spikes from 1962.
Oh, I don't know that one.
So I learned about this. This was an hour-long TV movie from the Alcoa premiere anthology series, hosted by Fred Astaire, which was interesting. So it stars Jimmy Stewart, Jack Warden, and John Wayne has a small part. It's directed by John Ford. Oh. It's a baseball movie. That's why I put it.
Oh, there it is.
Okay. Jimmy Stewart plays like this old ball player who he's pretty much banned from playing professional baseball for betting on it. But Andrews plays this guy named Gabby LaSalle, the manager of a team called the Hawks. And in everything, even in Skyway to Death, Flashing Spikes, Werewolf of Woodstock, he's just this angry, yelling, and I love every single minute he's on screen. I'm like, I need to watch more of his films.
I don't think he was like that on the Mod Squad. He was like
the lieutenant on there, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was like now I can't remember his name. Stephen Williams on 21 Jump Street.
Yes.
Yeah, he was sort of like that character, I think.
Okay, that makes sense. Richard Webb plays Dr. Marlowe. He's in lots of noir films, The Big Clock, Out of the Past, This Gun for Hire. So anyone looking to do a deep dive in noir, you're likely to run across Richard Webb.
Well, and speaking of Dallas, he was in Beware the Blob from 1970, directed by Larry Hagman.
Okay.
That's right. I bet that has less than 1,000 votes on it.
Probably. Yeah. The reporter at the very beginning is played by Dean Weber. Now, I'm only bringing him up. It's a very small role, obviously. He also appeared as a reporter in Dirty Harry, but Dean Weber was an actual news reporter, and this is for LA folks only, on KCOP Channel 13 in Los Angeles. A couple members of the band. First is Becky. She's played by Belinda Belaski. She's in a lot of horror movies that folks probably already know. Gremlins, Gremlins 2, Piranha, Food of the Gods, and another werewolf movie, The Howling. And then Andrew Stevens plays Dave.
The other angry guy.
And he's the fucking bass player. Like, you're the most replaceable member of the band. I'm sorry, Dave. You need to pick your battles here.
Dave is, or Andrew Stevens rather, is interesting because he's mainly a producer of low budget action films. Like think, Dolph Lundgren type action movies.
Yeah, I saw he directed a few episodes of Swamp Thing from the 90s series, which was interesting. He's
got more producing and directing credits than actual acting credits. But he does have some notable acting credits, including The Fury, Day of the Animals, 10 to Midnight, and Massacre at Central High.
That's the one I was thinking of.
Yeah. As far as production goes, besides, those low budget action films, Battlefield Earth and Fear.com. That one's for Austin.
Oh, I think he's in The Seduction, the Morgan Fairchild movie.
Yes.
He's the bad guy in that.
Yeah.
He's really good.
He's got quite a few credits across the board. So he's kind of all over the place with that. And so I thought it was interesting that like this angry hippie is,
His mom was Stella Stevens.
Oh, okay.
So, and he grew up outside of Hollywood. She had him, and I think she had him raised outside the system.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know that they had a super close relationship. I'm not real sure what that was like. But she's in, it's with Stuart Whitman. I think it's called Lucky Lady.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he has a part in it. And I think it's one of the first things he did.
Oh, nice. But obviously, we need to talk about the star of the show here, besides, Bert the werewolf.
Are we going to fight over him?
I don't want to fight. You're my friend. But Michael Parks as Moody in this. I think a lot of folks might be more familiar with him in his sort of, call it his second wave of fame in Tarantino films. I know there's a lot of people who, he was in like some Kevin Smith films as well, like Tusk. Yeah. I fucking hate Tusk. I've never seen it. I hate it. Nothing to do with Michael Parks, though. Mm-hmm. He's lovely. But mostly, he has a lot of credits through the 70s and 80s, including, an unsung horror's favorite, Nightmare Beach from 1989, The Savage Bees, The Last Hard Men. And he's looking good in this movie. I mean, as bad as the quality of this movie is, you can still see how good looking Mr. Michael Parks is.
He's channeling Mike Nesmith with that little cap.
The little
Every time I see him, that's exactly what I think of. And I think that's why they did that, this sort of like safe hippie kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because he's part of the U Squad, right? In the movie in this movie they've written like this. We have these young kind of 21 Jump Street like hip mod squatty. I guess that's why they had T.J. Andrews in it, because he used to oversee them. But and they come in and he's got these pants that are like floods. His pants are, and this big oversized jacket and this little Mike Nesmith cap. And she looks fabulous to the whole thing, Meredith McRae. She's just so beautiful. But like he's just adorable in this. And the quote I pulled from it, so they did an interview with him sometime in the 70s, and they were kind of doing a retrospective. He was on a show called Then Came Bronson, which I don't know if you've ever seen, but the pilot movie is amazing and I highly recommend it. And it's kind of about a guy who, actually Martin Sheen, plays his best friend, and I think he dies. I can't remember if he kills himself or there's an accident. And Michael Parks' character is like, why would I wear a monkey suit 9 to 5 every day when I could just be out in the world? And so he gets this motorcycle, and he's traveling the country, and he's somewhere on a beach, and Bonnie Bedelia is walking into the ocean in her wedding dress. It's very arty for a TV movie. And he's like, why don't you just travel with me to New Orleans? And she gets on the back of his bike and they go across country. And it's shot kind of like a documentary. Mm-hmm. And it had this very short-lived TV series that came afterwards. And if you read the reviews of it on IMDb, the fondness of it is so incredible. And one of the things you'll see people say over and over again is that this feels like what freedom should feel like. And it really hit like this hippie kind of vibe. So he's sort of perfectly cast in this. So they interviewed him sometime in the 70s, and he was mentioning some of the movies he made, and he mentioned Werewolf of Woodstock, and he said, quote, I think it's important that my children eat, end quote. And that's why he made the movie.
I mean, it was one of his first film credits, right? Like a TV movie. Like
TV movie, probably. He did a few. He did one, I was talking to Erica about it, called Escape from Bogan County, with Jacqueline Smith. And that was her first TV movie post Charlie's Angels, and maybe her first TV movie. And do you remember the guy from Dharma and Greg that played, I think he played Greg's dad? It's like John Ryan or something. I can't remember his name, but he's this very abusive husband that Jacqueline Smith can't get away from. And they live in this small town. And he runs the town, and he gets her arrested for trying to leave. And Michael Parks is like this new cop that's working in the town. And there's this scene, and you can watch it on YouTube, just this scene by itself, where he serenades her from her jail cell, and he's singing, and his voice just sends me. And it's like a sweet kind of, it's not like a perfectly sung moment, but it's so Michael Parks, and then it's got all this stuff going on around it with the cops that can't figure out why he is in the cell and all this stuff. Yeah. But it's a really good movie. And then later on, he did a movie in like 1989 or 1990 called The China Lake Murders, which is excellent, with Tom Skerritt. And he plays a cop, again, who's vacationing in the somewhere in the desert, Joshua Tree maybe. And Tom Skerritt is the sheriff of the town, but Michael Parks is also a serial killer. So he's this cop serial killer that goes to the small town and kills people, and then goes back to his job, and then comes, and they haven't been able to connect the murders. But Tom Skerritt starts to get this idea then maybe he's the serial killer. So it's kind of cat and mousey.
It's like Dexter, kind of.
Yeah, it's real good. And Lauren Twees from The Love Boat plays his love interest, Michael Parks' love interest. And she's in like 3 scenes, but she's great.
Yeah.
So he made some really neat TV movies that I think kind of, I keep using the word gateway. I think it's a good entry point because all his TV movies are good. So it's good for TV movies and just for Michael Parks. That Then Came Bronson film, I think is really amazing.
Yeah. So obviously I'm going to have a Michael Parks song as the outro for this episode, even though it was going to be that Oliver Onion's Dunebuggy song just for that earworm. But I think Michael Parks crooning makes more sense here.
Yeah, for sure. We should close out every episode with a Michael Parks song.
Yeah, like
moving forward.
Can't lose. So, I mean, we kind of touched on Meredith McRae a little bit already. But besides her, any other cast or crew members? Either of you had any notes about what to talk about?
I mean, John Bud Cardos has.
That's right. He's production consultant on it.
He plays the werewolf.
I was wondering who that was. If he did who did the werewolf, because it's obviously not the actor.
Yeah, he's a lot skinnier. Yeah,
yeah. But like you did notice that Robert Dix is one of the cops, and so there's an Al Adamson connection there. Because Robert Dix was in a lot of Al Adamson movies, but Cardos, was in them and worked on them and stuff. So I don't know how that happened, but they got 2 Adamson regulars to work on the film.
Yeah.
Yeah. We talked about him a little bit, maybe in Death Car on the Freeway with the Hal Needham, or probably The Run Home Slow, because it was Gary Kent was starring in that one, another stuntman.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, when I was reading about Bud, I saw Bud Cardos, or I think it said John Cardos in the credits.
I think it said one of the 2, but I saw Cardos and I was like, oh, is that him? And I love Kingdom of the Spiders. Maybe we talked about it when we were on Drive
It's a great movie.
Bill and
it is. I love we love stuntmen on the podcast.
Yes.
So when I saw it and then I read that, it seems he was the werewolf he played the werewolf, the costume. He was the man behind the mask in Werewolf.
The man behind the
mask.
mask.
Man behind the mask. The gorgeous mask from Joe Blasco's. I'm sorry. I love it. I think it's great. Like as goofy as it is, it looks a little bit like the Thriller werewolf mask from Michael Jackson, but also like Horror of the Wolf, like I mentioned. I have so many like things that I love about this that I want to talk about, but I want to get the hatred out of the way first. Not my personal hatred of anything in this film. But Lance, I'm asking you this question. Do you hate anything as much as Bert hates hippies?
I mean, it's extreme. You yell at loved ones. You throw and destroy things. Probably hippies. I probably hate hippies as much.
All right. I mean, no. I'm close. I hate The Who. As much as I do. I fucking hate The Who. I hate The Who with every fiber of my being.
I need to pull them out of my vinyl collection and give them to you for your
It frustrates me that Ken Russell has I've had to watch a couple of Ken Russell movies with fucking Daltrey. I hate The Who with every fiber of my being. I really do. Anyway.
I don't know if I hate anything, but
I don't think you do either. You're not a hateful person.
There probably are things I hate when you're talking about that. I don't know that I hate them. I don't really like U2.
Okay. That's justified. That's fine. And that's actually understandable.
But I don't know that I hate them. They have a couple songs I like. They did a cover of a Cole Porter song, Night and Day, that's amazing. But I was thinking maybe roaches.
Sure.
I don't like roaches.
Yeah.
I literally throw things at them.
Yeah.
And I'll
scream about them. Yeah. I think that's, But yeah, Bert's hatred of hippies is so funny to me. And it's just because, the irony of Bert hating hippies and turning into a werewolf is that when the police start looking for the murderer, they think it's someone on drugs, a quote unquote long hair. And so he's being taken they think like the werewolf is a hippie. They think Bert's a hippie, so he's now becoming what he hates.
You've just rooted out the subtext. That's pretty amazing.
There is subtext in Werewolf of Woodstock, folks.
Yeah. And his hatred is so essential to this movie. But I guess the folks in the community are still dealing from the Woodstock backlash.
Sure.
And the hatred of, I guess, was there a lot of backlash? I didn't read too much about like if 500,000 people converging on this small town and destroying their the roadways and stuff. If the people actually hated them or if they...
I don't imagine that they
I'm sure it was a very littered, drug-infested period of time for the community. But.
Yeah. I'm sure they were not happy about it. So I love that this movie exists and like rests solely on like the hatred of hippies.
Yeah.
And like, how can we turn this into a movie? Well, let's, have it be a werewolf movie. Well, how's he going to get turned into a werewolf? Like, how do you work that in? And I mean, there's a million ways you could have done it, but yet they decide to go with this angle.
I respect the hell out of it.
I wonder if somebody actually read it. I meant to look up to see if there was actually science reports of rats with electromagnetic.
I looked it up. There is not.
Okay. I was curious if that actually happened and somebody just got this idea.
No, that does. Somebody made this up, and all the more respect for that.
The electrical atmosphere causing hair. Yeah, it's brilliant. And Kindy's a pro. She cracks the case right away.
She sure does. She's
amazing.
She's the heart of the film in a way because she takes it very seriously. And McRae's performance is very serious too, which I love. Like Michael Parks, I feel like he's okay being there, but I don't think he's like Parksing it up as much as he could.
No.
You know what I mean?
He's so chill. He's like,
just like,
there's something going on. We'll figure it out.
I got my Michael Nesmith hat.
I love that.
I look adorable. And Meredith McRae's wardrobe was great, but like, she's very much like, this is what's happening, guys, and I'm being really serious about it. And I don't know how I determine. Like, there's so many things that are weird. Like, it's like if it's science. And it's actually like he got struck by lightning and that made him into, why would a silver bullet work? Like, why does the mythology of the werewolf still work when it's not the mythology of the werewolf that made him the werewolf? Like, it doesn't make sense. But she comes up with all these things that they're like these leaps. And she's like, and towards the end, without jumping ahead, but she was like, so I had forensics make us the silver bullet. Yeah. Because, forensics is just melting silver.
Sure.
They're like, ballistics, they had time to make one bullet. Like, this is it. I love that.
Well, it's so funny, like, with her performance, because everyone is in a different movie. Like, she's playing it straight. She's like, this is like a cop drama or like this, murder mystery that we got to figure out. Parks, like you said, he's like, I'm just here, I'm chilling, with my little beanie cap on. Like, we'll figure it out. The cop is cooking chili, making marinara. Yeah. He's there for the laughs.
He has like an explanation for everything, no matter how far-fetched it is.
So adorable. I love him.
But then he's like, I love it when Parks says to him, he's like, well, maybe we've got a Bigfoot. And he's like, a big what? It's okay. He's clearly there, like, playing it for the laughs. Yep. And then, like, Dora, or the wife, is it Dora or Cora? And I keep, because it's Ann Doran, so I keep going Dora. They're in like some like after school special family drama or something, it's like everyone's in a different movie in this. And that's what I love about like how much is like quote unquote wrong with the movie. And that's why it works so well for me, because it just makes it that much more fun. Yeah.
No character is wasted. They all have a purpose. And I feel like they're all selling it so well. Even Webb is Dr. Marlowe. This guy's like, I don't know why your husband's still alive. He's got 3rd-degree burns over like 80% of his body. Let's just keep him in bed.
Yeah, let's keep him home.
Yeah, don't worry about sleeping in the same room. Yeah. He's going to snore, sleep in the living room. Like, I just love how just nonchalant he is about the bird's condition.
I love that. There's a couple of other favorite moments that I have. So after Bert initially gets electrocuted and he's like screaming, there's a transition to the band.
Oh yeah, That's right.
That's real quick. And like, he's like not literally howling, but like,
it's a singer. Tom.
Yeah,
we didn't talk about him. Weaver. It's Robert Weaver.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And he's the son of
Dennis Weaver.
Speaking of, because we talked about,
I missed that completely. Holy shit, we love Dennis Weaver.
Awesome.
Cocaine.
And I have to say I respect Robert Weaver, and I think the drummer's name was Vinny, maybe.
Oh, he was cute.
And they play the instruments. They're playing those solos, and everything's legit. And I love movies where they act. It's actors actually performing, or they get musicians to act in these roles. But the band is really doing what you're seeing on screen, which I really like.
It's hilarious too, because they're when she's been captured by the werewolf and she's like, the band never plays this loud. And I'm like, they're like this blues inspired metal band. I'm pretty sure they always play this loud.
Yeah.
Like she's acting like they're just like this acoustic folk.
Yeah.
God, that's really loud for them.
That's her vibe though. Becky is so like zen and cosmic, and I think she has her own idea of what she wants the band to be versus what it is.
She might. She's like also has like a really weird sort of sensitivity to animals, apparently. Mm-hmm. Oh, by the way, one of the things I love about it is when they've got the dogs out and then the dogs lose the trail. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, did the dogs really lose the trail, or are they defending another canine?
Oh,
just going to put that out there.
Yeah, I think I like that theory. They're like, nope, we're not turning in one of our own. We're not snitches over here. Lance, any favorite moments from you?
I mean, everything we've talked about so far has been, Michael Parks' little cute hat. He should have worn that every scene. The entire scene where they do talk about how the electric, how everything's working, and then they concoct the plan quickly, having the band play, creating as much white noise as possible, and, not even really sharing. I love how they never share the information with the band. They're like, yeah, we'll play, we're there. What's going on? I mean, we've talked about the werewolf, the money shot of Bert the werewolf jumping through the window in slow motion.
Oh, yes.
I mean, every werewolf movie needs it. And every werewolf movie needs, standing on some high structure, throwing down barrels at people. Like, it has a lot of the tropes that I love in werewolf films. Mainly it's the cast. I mean, Lieutenant Martoni, Dr. Marlowe, Bert. I mean, everybody's just Cora. The band are like complete assholes.
Yeah. I do love like when the band starts playing to lure him out and how he just like comes charging out of like the woods
in
like,
daytime.
I'm like, when did this rule change? And like all this, but you know what? There are no rules with this werewolf because it's electricity. So therefore the rules don't really apply to him.
Except silver bullets for some reason.
Yeah, those apply, but whatever it is.
Obviously the Dunebuggy.
Yes.
Like that. I want to watch this movie in a theater because that is such a crowd pleasing moment. Like people would cheer.
Yeah.
I feel like. With like-minded,
of course,
like that scene where he's trying to start it and he finally takes off, and it's so joyful.
Yeah, we might want to mention when the guy he punches that owns the Dunebuggy is the co-writer of the film, and he's Chris Lee's dad.
Yes,
the guy who has the video of it, and it's just the best. It's just he calls it a carjacking on the video, which it is. But I just think of it as a werewolf driving a Dunebuggy, and where else can you see that but on an ABC? 11:30 p.m. at night in like 1975 or whatever. Like it's such an amazing moment in television.
I love it. For whatever reason, I thought when I was going in to rewatch it, I thought the Dunebuggy chase like lasted a lot longer than it did. In my head, I remembered it being as like half the movie and loving it for that reason. Like, half the movie is just a Dunebuggy chase with a werewolf, like.
Yeah. Well, when you brought it up on our last episode, and I was like, okay, where's the Dunebuggy? We have like 5 minutes left.
Whoops. I mean, I remembered it that way, but that's because that moment like stuck out so much that I thought it was a bigger part of it. But it's just, how else do you end a movie like that? Obviously a Dunebuggy chase. And then one thing that, the guy who made the video, the son, pointed out, and this came from a Dread Central article. I'm sorry. I hate Dread Central.
You hate them as much as he hates hippies.
I do. As much as Bert hates hippies and as much as I hate The Who, I fucking hate Dread Central. But somebody there wrote an article about this movie a few years ago. No. That would have been like a perfect circle of like hatred right there.
Because that is his favorite film.
Yeah.
Then can you hate him then?
Yeah. No, I still would. I know nothing can save that man. But he pointed out that the end with Bert running up, all the different levels and then eventually like throwing the barrels down was very like, Donkey Kong like. And I was like, yeah, sure, it's like that. But I don't think the people who made Donkey Kong saw Werewolf of Woodstock.
I will tell you though, did you guys see the new Lee Wanell Wolfman movie?
No.
Okay, well, first of all, I really liked it.
I liked it too.
I don't think a lot of people did. It's very much a very slow kind of character thing. But one of the things that happens in it is as he's turning into the werewolf, he starts to lose, like his eyesight changes and they do it from his point of view. And then words start to kind of sound funny and he can't figure out what people are saying because he's becoming a wolf. Mm-hmm. In this movie, there's a scene, is it with Cora? I can't remember, but there's like, they put like Vaseline over the lens.
Yeah.
And the words, maybe it's Belinda Blasky he's talking to. Or she's talking. Obviously he's not talking. He's a werewolf. And And everything starts to change and he can't fully focus on what she's saying or what she looks like. And I'm like, I think Lee Whannell saw Werewolf of Woodstock, and I'm willing to put my neck out there because he and James Wan were big fans of The Haunted, which is a 1991 TV movie which introduced them to the Warrens, who would have become integral in the Conjuring movies.
Right.
So I wouldn't be surprised if they actually saw this somewhere, and I don't think Lee Whannell is like taking that for his very serious film, but maybe a seed of that might have stayed.
Okay.
Because it's such a fascinating way to show the transformation of the werewolf, is to show how it actually disorientates the human inside it. And that's kind of what we see in Werewolf of Woodstock. So I'm just saying.
Layers, folks. There are layers to Werewolf of Woodstock. Despite what Dread Central guy thinks. There's more. I didn't want to bring this much hatred into
You would hang
episode.
out with Bert, though, hardcore.
I would.
Just be like,
man,
real.
Hell yeah. I would hang out with Bert in a heartbeat.
Oh, you know Bert hates The Who as much as you do.
I know he does. Yeah.
So you guys have, you guys would click.
Absolutely. I have a couple of other lines that I like, and I think they're all from The Lieutenant, if I'm not mistaken.
Of course.
Where he's just like, I can't believe it. We got a werewolf. Like after it finally comes out and he sees it with his own eyes, and he's just so funny to me. And then, of course, just the hippie hatred, like they're fed up with your type, like those sorts of lines. Like I love that aspect of it, and how you can take such a weird premise that this movie exists is just really like what I love about it. So anything we haven't talked about yet that you wanted to hit on, Lance?
No, I usually like to talk about the music, but it's not like, I think Michael Finley is credited as a musical consultant, but during the credits, there's like a narrator that announces the real people who do their names. I don't know if the names of the real people who do the music, Jerry Cole and Alan Brunin. And I looked up Jerry Cole, and he was like a renowned session player. He played on Beach Boys' Pet Sounds. He played with Paul Revere and the Raiders, the Byrds. So I don't know if maybe he did some of the music, which some of it sounds cool. Like there's a scene where Becky and the werewolf are in that area when, the vast, like the wolf's perspective, and she's kind of caring for him. And it's kind of this weird kind of Ween sounding flanger guitar over like this distorted solo. And I'm wondering if Jerry Cole maybe saw this and he's like, I don't want my name in the credits. Or like during the credits, the narrator's like, music by Jerry Cole, like just while it's scrolling. But yeah, no, he did. Apparently he did the music for like Shindig, a mid-60s like pop show. Yeah, the music was interesting to me. I was trying to figure it out. I don't know how much of it is like recycled maybe for the series, but
it sounded kind of unique to me. But I mean, I've only seen a few of these and not like yesterday.
Yeah.
Like, so who knows? But I thought the music was really good.
Yeah, I feel like maybe that Michael Finley, the musical consultant, had something to do with maybe writing some of the songs or working with the band members, because he was also a well-known singer and songwriter in the 70s and 80s. Okay. Because I guess that's original music they're playing, and I liked it.
There's actually two other ABC Werewolf mysteries which I haven't seen yet. One, I think they were both directed by Leela Swift. It's called Rock-a-Die Baby, and I think the second one's just Succubus or something. I'm trying to remember, but they used real band members, and for a while. I have it, but I haven't watched it yet. Rock-a-Die Baby featured a real band, I think, because the band member put up the movie on YouTube for a while. Oh. It's for people to watch, and that's how it survived, because he somehow had a really pristine copy of it.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So I wish I'd watched those. I'm sorry. But I think they're rock-based as well. If people want to get into the rock-based Wide World of Mysteries.
Yeah.
Nice. There's more than one. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Could make a good double feature.
There you go. Anything else we haven't touched on yet, Amanda?
I will put my neck out there and say I think the photography is really good. We were talking about the scene where Belinda Blasky's character is walking with her boyfriend and they get attacked in the woods and the werewolf comes out of nowhere. It's really good, and they have this great shot of the werewolf. It's like a side profile with like mist around him, and you're like, this looks really good. Like he's shooting it like a horror movie. You know what I mean? And the lighting's really good, and he did a really good job with what was probably a very short shooting schedule and not a lot of money. I think it looks really good. I think they all look really good, but most of them they're more static looking. They don't have this. I'm not saying this is filmic, but comparatively, it has a little bit more, it's more adventurous than a lot of the other Wide World mysteries that I've seen.
You think a lot of that is because of like it not just being like fully on a sound stage and
possibly, yeah. And I don't know if Dick Clark Telefilm Productions or whatever made it. I don't know if there was more money involved. I don't know. I mean, it just stands out to me as being a little bigger.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I think the exteriors helped. I like the ones that are all shot interior though, because some of them are really weird. There's one called The House in the Brain, which is about a woman who's like sort of reliving it's like Groundhog Day sort of. This warlock is controlling her, and he's basically making her live this one portion of her life over and over again. And this guy that I don't fully understand why, but she's supposed to be his lover, but at the same time, the warlock's in love with her and he doesn't want it. So he keeps coming to her house. And then she kind of relives what happens. And then there's the twist at the end. And it's very much like a play, but it's really cool looking. It's like her room is really wild looking, and the exteriors, they have this like porch area, and it looks clearly like it's like you're watching a play, but it just adds to like how weird the episode is, you know?
Okay.
So I think it can work in its favor, but I do like the exteriors in this. Yeah. Okay. Let me give you a little background on this, because it turned out that there was the trades did do a little bit on this. So the first notice I saw of Werewolf of Woodstock actually came in Cream magazine, which was a music magazine, and it stated that Kiss was set to appear in a film called The Werewolf of Woodstock. I don't know if they were ever really approached or if it was just gossip, but that's what the person wrote in their article. Neville Brand was originally cast as the werewolf, and he was in the press notices all the way up till production, and then T.J. Andrews took over, and I don't know what happened, but I do know he was a very controversial guy to work with. I think a lot of people really liked him, but he had like a drinking problem. He actually talked about that. He did an interview where he was on a show called Laredo, which was a Western that I love, with Phil Carey, who was in Shadow of Fear and ABC Werewolf Mystery, and William Smith and Peter Brown. So all these B-movie guys.
Yeah.
And Claude Akins had to replace him in some episodes because he was just too drunk to actually be like on set.
Yeah.
And he would talk about that later, and he kind of knew he was sort of trouble. So I wouldn't be surprised if in 1975 he was just having problems and couldn't do it. But I
would have loved to have seen that though. Like, I mean, I feel like maybe this might have found an audience sooner. I mean, I know it's not easily, accessible for folks to watch. Like, I didn't think we'd be able to do an episode on this for a while. And then I found it on Okru, and I was like, hallelujah, it's about Werewolf of Woodstock. So, but yeah, like, I think Michael Parks is a big draw, of course, but like, I think having him plus Neville Brand, maybe like more people would have actively been seeking it out and like getting it up on YouTube, and other people would have found it. And
I'm just glad it was T.J. Andrews. He's too good as Bert.
I mean, no, I don't want to take anything away from that anger, but like, I'm like, what kind of Neville Brand of anger would we get?
Well, first of all, he'd be a werewolf who feeds people to crocodiles.
Yeah.
and I'm picturing him in the mask, but with those big white teeth that he has.
Oh my God.
And that would have been like amazing.
Yeah.
That would have been amazing. Yeah, he would have been really fun. And if they were intending it to be a comedy, I think he could have. He's great on the radio. He's good with comedy, and I think he would have pulled out some of the humor, the stuff in it that. Whereas the other actor was, I think, more straight faced about it.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like Neville Brand would have sussed out the humor.
Yeah.
And it might have been more interesting. Although the actor's really hardly in it, because he's all just wrapped in bandages, and I don't know how he keeps wrapping himself back up.
I don't know.
It's like more clumsy, but it shows later on. It's like the toilet paper's all.
I mean, that's the whole like how werewolves have their clothes after they convert back or whatever. Like, how did you do
the Incredible Hulk?
Incredible Hulk, like all that. Yeah.
So there was a show called Werewolf from the late '80s that was really good, and actually at the end of every episode he'd be naked.
Oh, okay.
And it was made for TV, so they had to be very kind of suggestive about how they showed it. But he was saying that they actually had a very conscious thought about what happens when he transforms. His clothes would have been ripped off, so they always have like the scene at the end where he's not dressed. And so it was one of the only things I've ever seen that actually does that. But and also he was gorgeous. So I'm just saying. So anyway, as I mentioned, he was mentioned all the way up until the end. And it's interesting because post-production notes were still being listed in the trades after the film aired. I don't know why. They were still working on it, but the trades were reporting it. It was apparently shot by WABC TV in New York. So it was shot by a local affiliate. And actually, I read in a gossip column that Meredith McRae was in New York, apparently. I think she was in New York. It was a New York paper that posted it. At a place, they wrote it as Ondies, but I think they might have meant the Odin. And she was overheard talking about her starring role in Werewolf of Woodstock.
Oh.
She was telling everybody about her big new role. And so I put likely premiered on January 24th because I don't know how accurate the listings are. And when I looked it up, it looked like it was in the adjacent to that. It could have been that. I couldn't really tell. And it did have a couple reruns in the mid-1970s, which is probably why it still exists, because some tape of it was able to circulate. And in 1994, it screened at the by Cable Ready Corp, which is a company, at NATPE, which I'm not sure what that stands for. It's like North America Tape something. It's like a convention. And they were trying to sell it to cable or home video. With that, they screened The Great Balloon Chase, which I think might be Hot Air from 1984, which is directed by Worth Keeter, who of course was an Owensby regular, as well as the TV movie Demon Murder Case from with Kevin Bacon from 1983. Oh, and it also had this hilarious, the Ithaca newspaper wrote to describe the film, quote, a chilling story of the supernatural told in the setting of a musical festival, end quote.
Sold.
Yeah. That's it. I mean, so wait, was it shot actually in New York? Because I was getting very like San Gabriel Mountains vibes from it.
It looks like, I don't remember where I got this from, but it would have been the trades. They said it was shot by WABC in New York. So it's possible.
I've never been to Woodstock.
Don't quote me on that, because who knows where they shoot these things.
Sure. You know? Yeah. I don't imagine like they made sure to like, we got to be authentic and shoot in Woodstock, New York.
It would make sense if Meredith McRae was seen in New York talking about it.
Yeah.
Like she was probably in the middle of the 4-day production that they had.
Yeah.
And taking a break and being like, I'm going to be in this movie called Werewolf of Woodstock.
Okay. Let's get to double features then. Amanda, since you're our guest. What would your pick be for a double feature?
So I really wavered on this one because it's really open to like, is it a werewolf movie? Do you do something else? But I'm going to go with the ABC Wide World mystery Alien Lover with Kate Mulgrew, which is about a girl whose parents die and she ends up going to a relative's house. And in the attic, they have a TV set that the son of the family has sort of made on his own accord. He's just like a tech guy. And when she turns it on, there's an alien living inside the TV and she falls in love with him. And it's wild. It's wild. It's directed by Leela Swift. It has probably one of the most jarring endings I've ever seen in a TV movie. It's just, wow. It's so good. It's got Pernell Roberts from Trapper John MD in it. And it's really a lot of fun. And it's as weird as the Werewolf of Woodstock, probably there's a lot of really interesting entries in the series. Yeah. But that one's probably one of the wackiest and the one I always recommend because people see it and then they're just like, I need more of this.
Yeah. That's awesome. Watch listed.
Yeah, immediately. I love it. Can you find it anywhere?
Yeah, I think it's on YouTube. It actually had a rerun. I don't remember which. There was a couple copies floating around on YouTube. It aired like on Encore. Like on cable, and somebody taped it off cable. And for a while, there was a really beautiful upload of it. I don't think that one's still online. Okay. There's a watchable one. Okay. But there is a really beautiful copy of it somewhere in the world. And it's really amazing.
Nice. All right. Lance, what about you?
So there was a moment in The Werewolf of Woodstock where Becky began kind of caring and almost falling for Bert, the werewolf. And it almost felt like an unlikely love story was developing for a second. You know, she's immediately like, oh, you're hurt. You know, don't go out there. You'll get shot. Yeah. And I thought of Tammy and the T-Rex for a bit.
Oh, yes.
Odd kind of like, what's happening here?
There's an odd transformation that happens. Yeah.
But I wanted to stick with the TV movie, and I'm going with another Michael Parks, the 1976 TV movie, The Savage Bees. So with Michael Parks, Ben Johnson, total Jaws ripoff. I think it's done well. But instead of the summer beach opening, it's Mardi Gras in New Orleans. And like in Werewolf of Woodstock, Parks plays the professional of sorts teaming up with the sheriff or a cop to try and figure out where the villain is hiding. In this case, it's like African killer bees. Yeah, he seems just as uninterested and unamused of solving this case in this movie. Just like in Werewolf. But I think just a Michael Parks double feature would work. There is a 7-year-old girl who is murdered.
Yeah, I think I have that.
Okay.
Wait.
I didn't see it in your list. It doesn't show.
Oh, there's a bee movie that I do have. Like, I think it's just The Bees.
Yeah,
That's
this one's
movie,
The
right?
Savage Bees.
That's a great movie, The Bees.
The Bees
I don't
is
know
great.
that I've seen. They made a sequel, I think, to The Savage Bees.
Yeah, I think they did.
And that I have that on DVD. I can't remember if the other one's on available.
You are correct. I have not seen this one. Watch
It doesn't
listed?
show her, but it has like the bee's point of view coming down while she's playing.
Oh yeah, child endangerment.
Oh, wait.
Okay.
That's also in The Bees. It's a boy. Do you remember? Have you guys
It's
seen
a boy in The Bees.
With John
Yeah.
Saxon.
Yeah.
And I think it starts with the bee attack of like the father and the son,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. That's the dead kid in the.
Yeah, it's
the
kinda
Bees
interesting.
One. Yeah. All right. Watch listed and added to dead kid list. Thank you. So I had a couple different thoughts about a double feature. At first, I was thinking like a hippie horror double feature, and there's kind of surprising lack of them, except for one obvious one, which I'll get to. But there's this movie Deathmaster from 1972, which I haven't seen, but a couple people that I follow have, and it came up on multiple lists that were like hippie horror. But it's about a bunch of hippies who start following a vampire, like he's a cult leader. It's apparently not very good, so I'm not in a rush to see it. But I guess if you're looking for a hippie horror double feature, you could go with that. There's Track of the Moon Beast. This isn't hippie horror, but this seems to me like a movie. Well, only Amanda and Sam Panico could defend. But it's about a man who gets hit by a meteor fragment and turns into a reptilian monster at night. So
good.
I feel like it has some common areas with it there.
California Lady. It's got California Lady. I really like that movie, and depending on the mood I'm in, it can be sort of sad. But it's like some of the acting in that is great. There's a character in it, I think his name was Johnny Longbow.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a scene. So I originally saw it on Mystery Science Theater. That's how I was kind of introduced to it.
Yeah.
But it's been released because I think it's public domain. But like he's sitting, Johnny Longbow makes chili. Speaking of cooking, you're getting a double feature here.
Yeah.
He makes chili, right? And they're like, and then nobody knows what they're doing in this movie. So they're like, I really like your chili. And he goes, it's got corn, tomatoes, green peppers. Like it just goes on forever. And it's this amazing scene. And there's also this part where she puts up this giant mask to scare the main guy.
Mm.
And like she's pulling this joke with Johnny Longbow. And he's never met this woman who's, I don't know, but she becomes his love interest. But she's like, hope you didn't mind our joke. And she says it like 8 times.
Yeah.
Because I feel like it's improvised. And she's like, I hope our joke was okay and didn't scare you too much. California Lady. It's a really fun movie.
Yeah.
I really like it.
Okay.
It's watch listed. Great poster too.
Yeah,
Yes,
it
it
does have a
is.
great poster. But speaking of masks, Horror of the Wolf could be another one.
Mm.
You know, it's got a great werewolf mask. Another werewolf film, obviously. But my actual pick, and hear me out before anybody makes a face about this, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre from 1974. Because you have a bunch of out-of-town dirty hippies showing up to the Sawyer's house, walk right in like they own the place, making a mess, just bopping right in. So Bert and Leatherface do not take kindly to strangers, especially hippies. And so then they go on their killing spree.
I like it.
Okay.
It kind of switches because in some ways, Texas Chainsaw Massacre can be seen as the bad guys is actually just defending their property.
Yes.
You know?
Texas is a stand your ground state, just saying.
So we all feel bad for Bert.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm on his side.
I'm on Bert's side,
I'll listen to hippie music, but I'd rather hang with Bert.
Same. I would too.
You just throw stuff around.
Yes.
Yeah.
It'd be fun. Have a party.
I tell him to calm down when he's talking to Cora like that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Also, he bought Cora that beautiful little watch. Remember that he loses in the
Mhm.
woods?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I got that for our wedding anniversary 3 years
Yeah.
ago. Like she remembers every gift,
Yeah.
I think he has a heart.
Yeah.
He does.
But you have to get to know him, like Belinda Belaski does, and Cora.
Yeah. It all works out in the end. All right. Lance, next movie.
So next month is June. I was hoping the June exploitation categories were released so I could pick something
Same.
that fits in the category.
Yeah.
But I'm just going to pick The Wrong Door, which is this horror thriller released in 1990. I know you love the 90s.
I mean, I'm okay up until like 1992, 93. So you're all right.
It's more thriller in horror. It's these 3 college students shot on Super 8, micro budget regional horror. They shot it in the Midwest, these college students.
Okay.
And they're kind of doing their best De Palma. They're trying.
Oh, okay.
But there are horror elements. It's about a young man attending college for sound design, but he also works as a singing telegram delivery man.
As you do.
Yeah, he needs to pay the rent. He needs to pay for college. So one night, dressed as a court jester, he's hired for a birthday party. And when arriving, he knocks on the wrong door, which leads to a murder mystery and the killer chasing him. And all takes place in one night.
Nice.
Yeah, very questionable decisions, creating strange situations on screen. It might be a little boring in some parts, but I feel like it has this great kind of creepy atmosphere that we'll talk about. It's currently streaming on Tubi. And like Werewolf of Woodstock, it's just over an hour long. It's like 70 minutes.
Hell yeah. Let's keep this streak going. This is 2026. We're doing all the short films.
Well, and Genesploitation's coming up, so we got to cram as much as possible.
Yeah.
I'll probably be pulling watches from like 2 months ago.
Same.
So The Wrong Door, 1990 on Tubi.
I'm looking forward to this. I just took a look at it, and a lot of people I follow gave this really high ratings, so it should be fun. All right. If you're not already, you can follow this podcast on Instagram at Unsung Horrors. You can follow me on Leatherface. You can follow me on Letterboxd.
That just sounded so questionable.
I know,
and not
right?
safe for work.
Whoa. Letterboxd and Instagram at Hex Massacre.
I'm on Letterboxd and Instagram at Schibi.
Amanda, where can folks find and follow you?
I guess I should say I'm on Letterboxd too. I don't really use it, but you can find pretty much me anywhere under Made for TV Mayhem on Instagram, Bluesky, Facebook, and also Letterboxd. I actually had a Letterboxd that I don't use that I really need to pick up again called Better Than the Fury. And it's where I judged whether or not any movie was better or worse than The Fury. And I only did like 5 reviews, but I was like, not as good as The Fury.
That's awesome. That's amazing.
And I didn't keep it going, so I started my own Letterboxd. But mostly what I do on there is I keep private lists for what I'm working on.
Yeah.
It's been very good for organizing, but I haven't used it for much else.
Yeah. I have a lot of private lists on Letterboxd myself, so I get it.
I did write a review of My Kidnapper, My Lover, which is a TV movie that I finally got to see.
Yeah.
So that's about it that I've done so far.
I mean, I've kind of fallen off on writing reviews on there, except for like 1 or 2 line snarky remarks. So, but Amanda, thank you so much for coming back, talking about Michael Parks and hippies and Werewolf of Woodstock and all the things that are wonderful about this movie.
Oh, thank you. I had a blast.
Thank you.
All right. We'll see you all next episode for The Wrong Door. Bye.
We should save a little, spend a little, give a little away. Then everybody would have enough for that rainy day. We should laugh a little, maybe cry a little, and love a little each day. Then nobody in this old world take our dreams away. Now everybody wants more than they need. I guess that includes me. The human race is a funny breed, and it's difficult for us to see. We should save a little, and spend a little, and give a little away. Then nobody in this old world can take our dreams away. Now everybody may not agree with this philosophy, but then that makes it tough to get enough for everybody to be free. We should save a little and spend a little and give a little away. Then everybody would have enough for that rainy day. this old world can take our dreams away.
Hello, filthy movie lovers. My name is Gentry Austin.
And I'm Casey Scott.
And we're the hosts of the Sin Syndicate, film podcast for something weirdos, anti-criterion bros, and Joseph Sarno aficionados. Join us semi-weekly as we peer into the adults-only theaters and sticky-floored cinemas of the golden age of sexploitation, when the morals were loose, the laws were murky, and the intercourse was all simulated. Find us now on the Someone's Favorite Productions podcast network.
Thank you for listening. To hear more shows from the Someone's Favorite Productions podcast network, please select the link in the description